But I think we should now start the podcast from here.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. You happy now?
Yes,
No, I don't
am.
want to. I can't see the talking points because I'm in game.
Okay, I can tell you the talking points, okay?
Goodness.
It's all that matters. I can tell you.
See, I'm tired of Alana and her bigotry towards us whites.
Can I
okay?
just go to
Towards us whites. Wait a minute. I'm safe. I'm half Asian.
Us whites have been discriminated since the Civil War, okay? And we deserve equal opportunity. That means equal opportunity to be racist, okay?
Oh, God.
oh my goodness. I'm just like gonna leave soon.
Okay, alright.
Hitler did nothing wrong.
Well, wow, that's definitely saying in the podcast, that one. Hey there guys, welcome to another episode of the Nerdolution podcast. I'm Benji, the executive video editor of the Digi Bytes website. With me, we have Ilana, who's technically, what is your position?
I'm a team leader for Team Charlie. I don't do the team leader responsibilities like I'm supposed to though. I mostly just throw up articles and talk to people.
And technically she's the one who's taken over the podcast in some cases. I'm just the guy who's recording.
Yes.
Yes. Though I found the stuff this time around apparently.
Hey, I was busy making sure kids didn't get hit by cars, so yeah.
Right. And Matt's here as well, again.
Yes, I am here.
He's playing a new game right now.
They drugged me, and they said if I came here, I would be able to say racist things, but they lied.
We have some recorded, don't worry, it'll be in there somewhere.
Ah, there we go.
It will be eventually in there.
Eventually.
Oh, we've got enough of it. Oh god. Why does racism always apply to me in some way? It always comes to me in the end.
Yes,
Are
it
you
does.
normally racist, Matt?
Am I normally racist?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay then.
But I have black people that acknowledge themselves as my friends, so I can't be racist.
That's exactly true. I can be either because I'm half Asian.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does. It does. How does that make a lot of sense? Wow.
I looked at your Skype picture, and at first I thought you were Asian, but you told me you were British, and so I was like, that makes no sense. And then you're like, I'm half Asian, and I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Makes a lot more sense now, yeah.
So what part of Asia?
Philippines. Yes.
That's Asian?
That's Asian, yes.
I thought that was like a weird...
It's south of Japan.
It is. Oh! Oh, man. Geography.
Yes. And that just shows everything there, doesn't it?
Yep, that solves everything.
If I remember though. Strange enough, when I shave, I look like a Chinese guy. And when I don't shave, I look like a Mexican. So, I can't really win on that front. People keep saying...
moving
Asia.
moving on from... No, just moving on.
Moving on from what?
Moving on from you guys sitting there.
What topic do you have?
I thought it was quite a nice topic.
The topic that Benji's found.
Anyway, moving. Oh, we should move on. Apparently.
Thank you.
By the way, Mexico of Asia. Okay, just think of that, Matt.
Oh my goodness.
It is the Mexico of Asia. I just realized that.
People.
It is.
So wait, why no people from the Philippines?
They're mostly nurses though. They don't come over.
Isn't it in the Philippines like that one boxer? What is it, Manny Pacquiao?
It's amazing. Manny Pacquiao's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. A lot of yeah. The second I mentioned his name, you're just like legend. It confirmed my theory. My theory was every single Philippine person loves Manny Pacquiao.
Well, strange enough, the house I've got over there, it's near where he lives.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I assumed he lived in like a mansion or something.
No, I don't.
He a man of the people? Because I know he's like a senator.
It's crazy. Isn't it? Crazy. But moving on now, for the sake of what we actually are about, this podcast is usually here for non-racist games. Not racist games? What? Well, mainly games, films.
Yeah, we probably should cut that out, not gonna lie.
Technology, a few other things. And
what's
so
happening in the
topic,
porn industry?
That's not gonna. Not
Oh my
that.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
What games have we been playing this week, and what films have we seen? Matt's been watching porn, apparently. So
Well, it is a film industry.
this is a film industry, but we're not going to go to that. Alana? I won't discuss that one anymore.
I've been playing Assassin's Creed 3 because I finally beat Revelations. I'm catching up on the series.
I have.
Is it Assassin's Creed 3 that one game that's terrible?
I think it is the worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
And everyone's telling me that, but I don't see a problem
it's-
with it.
It has.
Is it like that one R. Kelly song? Your mind's telling me you know, but your body.
My body's saying yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Derail.
See, I still haven't completed Assassin's Creed 2, even though I completed Brotherhood. And
Yeah,
I haven't
played-
completed Revelations. I've got the entire series, and I just haven't finished them all.
That's what I was doing for the longest
Yeah.
time. 3 was coming out and I still hadn't beaten Brotherhood, so my mom told me that I wasn't allowed to get it unless I beat Brotherhood, so I beat Brotherhood.
And then you got Revelations.
No, then I got 3,
Got
because
3.
I had Brotherhood and
Three.
Revelation.
Okay.
And now she's telling me I can't get Black Flag unless I beat Revelation, so I went ahead and beat that. And now I'm working on 3.
Well, Black
And
Flag
it's-
doesn't come out until November anyway, so you got plenty of time.
Yeah. I'm very excited though, because it's like pirates, so.
And you get to
Pirates-
swim underwater and kill all
You
loads
get
of-
to. You kidding me?
You get to swim underwater.
Oh, this is the greatest day ever.
Yeah. It's got more stealth features in this one.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh,
actually.
really? Cool, because all the other games didn't actually feel like a stealth game.
It did. This one's a lot more stealthy, apparently.
Okay, no, wait, hold on a minute. Hold the phone.
There is some stealth in the other one.
Hold the phone.
There's
No,
more
there's a
running.
lot of stealth in the
Free running.
Assassin's Creed. Hold on. There's a lot of stealth in the Assassin's Creed series. Just
I
like there's a
don't-
lot of stealth in Splinter Cell and in.
Well, Splinter
I
Cell
can't
was
think of-
all stealthy.
I can't think of any other stealthy games.
Well,
These
okay,
games
in my
were
opinion,
designed.
Metal
Hold,
Gear. Metal
hold on a
Gear.
minute, Matt. Hold on a
Best
minute.
stealth
Hold
game
on, hold
ever,
on, hold
okay?
on.
Was Glover for the Nintendo 64.
Glover. What a game.
Yes.
Assassin's Creed is like an insanely stealthy game. The problem is everyone plays it wrong. I read this really interesting article. I don't remember where I read it, and someone was arguing that Assassin's Creed was the game that's most played wrong because everyone just sits there and runs in. It's like it's Assassin's.
You can't play a game wrong. There's no such thing as playing a game wrong.
Yes,
Okay.
there is. If a game is designed to be stealthy, you're gonna
What,
get
if-
the full experience if
If a
you're
game's
playing
designed to
stealth.
be playing stealthy, but you can get the same results if you
Okay.
don't play stealthy, then isn't it the game's
There's
fault? Isn't it
different
designed for
variations.
No,
of
it's
what you can
not
do.
the game's fault. It's not the game's fault because the developers don't want to limit people to only playing stealthy because they want to have a broad spectrum. But the game was designed to be played stealthy.
I can just say, a game, you know if you played it wrong when it says game over.
Ah,
Okay.
I couldn't get the kick.
Okay?
Yeah.
When it says game over,
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
job done. Except Metal Gear Solid 4 at the end, when it does say game over, and then suddenly it says, no, it's not over yet, when you try and click exit, it forces you to keep playing. So, that's probably the only case I can think of a game over screen, makes you keep playing.
I think the best Assassin's Creed,
And Dark
in
Souls.
my opinion, was I think 2 is a little bit better than 1, but like 2 kind of felt like they were going away from the stealth centered missions.
And then
I don't know.
Brotherhood, they sort of just expanded more on that. You could have a bit more stealth by having other
And then you had a whole
assassins.
tower wasn't there like a
drop
whole
in.
tower defense thing with Brotherhood?
Yeah, there was, yeah.
No, Brotherhood. You got
No,
the
Brotherhood,
assassins.
you got
Revelations,
the-
you got the tower defense.
Oh yeah, I don't understand. I think the thing about I don't know, with Brotherhood, if you I don't know, I think it's weird to hire like other assassins because it kind of feels like
No, you weren't hiring other assassins. You
You
were
were hiring
taking
normal
over the
people.
creed.
You're
You were
taking over the
taking
creed.
over the creed so
What-
that
what's
you
the-
were in control.
You were making the creed, basically.
Oh
You were
wait,
making the Brotherhood.
did Assassin's Creed have a story? Because I kind of
There was a story, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, there
Assassin's
was.
Creed has an excellent story, actually. In my opinion,
Oh.
Assassin's Creed is one of the greatest stories ever because it takes
Des-
history.
Desmond's
Oh.
story
And-
was horrible.
Desmond-
Sorry.
I
is
love.
pretty-
What are you talking
Desmond's
about? That's the
pretty
only
much
reason
a-
why I'm playing. I'm like sitting there and it's like I just want to see the end.
The
I
only
think,
game
like,
I've loved to...
Sean is like the greatest character
Sean is
ever,
hilarious. Sean
and
is...
Rebecca
'Cause he's
and
British.
Desmond.
Exactly, I
and-
support this guy. Okay?
And I didn't really like Lucy, but I'll mention Lucy anyways. They had a good story. This is a good story. I love the thought of like the animus and how you can like walk through your ancestors' past, but they made a mistake.
Okay,
They made a mistake.
They made a mistake by making Desmond the main character. You know who they should have made
No,
the main
they
character?
made
The
a
British
mistake
guy.
by
The
making
British
The
guy.
British guy. He was
Yes,
brilliant. He was
Yes,
brilliant.
the snarky, comments.
The
Yes.
sarcasm be brilliant.
My
It was
goodness.
Wait,
You'll be-
why do all the main characters have to be a pile of mud, and you have the supporting characters that are good? I want to play the supporting characters.
And then
Why
they
can't I
die. Then they
Okay,
die.
no,
cry.
actually, the reason why that is because as a supporting character, you don't see them as much, so you don't see the character flaws. Every character has a flaw. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's up to people who
Yes,
write characters
but-
to make characters not seem as two-dimensional. However, if you're focusing so much on one character, then it's going to look two-dimensional, and all the side characters are going to seem more interesting because you're not focusing as much on them.
Do you know what his flaw was? The British guy's flaw? He was too snarky. But that's what made him brilliant.
Oh, he wasn't. He was lovely. He's beautiful. I love him.
What? That's why I said that was made him brilliant. Okay.
but-
He's the reason why I finished Brotherhood. I kept exiting the Animus, and I just sit there and stare at him sometimes.
and we have a fangirl here.
No, okay. So I'll state what I think. I played Assassin's Creed 1. I didn't understand it, and I was like, I kind of
But
played
you're not
through it.
supposed to understand Assassin's Creed. That's the thing. You get to the end of like 1 and Brotherhood, 1 and
I
2.
didn't get to the end because it was
Revelation.
boring.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed 1 is okay. I love
And
the
then
setting.
I didn't finish
it's in
2
the-
because that was
it's-
boring as well.
1 had a really cool setting because it was in like the Holy Lands and stuff, and I really like that type of area. And 2 and Brotherhood and Revelation, they all have really good
But
settings. except for-
speaking of this, the British guy in Assassin's Creed, was it Sean, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Danny Wallace, obviously the guy who's the voice actor of this guy. Isn't he the narrator to This Is Thomas? No, was it no? Thomas is not alone. Thomas is not alone.
Thomas?
Was it Thomas is not alone? I can't remember what the game's called. Thomas.
Oh, I was like, is this some weird BBC show
No.
that I should know?
No. Was it Thomas?
Thomas and Friends.
Thomas
that
is
one
Thomas
show?
is alone. Thomas is alone.
Is he
Was
the
alone.
narrator
Was
to
alone.
that?
Thomas was alone. Yes, he was. He is the narrator to that.
Does he sound like British?
He does sound himself.
I need to
Okay.
play this game now.
Thomas was alone. It's an indie game, puzzle platformer created by Mike Bittel. Bittel? I'm terrible at pronouncing names, as you can tell. Basically, that is a platformer where you are, in fact, a block. But Danny Wallace, being the narrator, has actually given character to the actual blocks themselves, surprisingly, just with the certain storyline. It actually works very, very well.
There was this game a really long time ago, and there were these little cubes, and I think it was called Cubes, and it was like a puzzle game.
Was it called
and you got-
Minecraft?
No, you had to play it on the same
Minecraft?
computer. No, shut up. You have to play it on the same computer, and there's puzzles I have to solve, and they're like the tiny
Minecraft?
little.
I'm sorry.
Oh dear me.
I'm just done with the podcast. I'm just gonna sit here and listen. to you
Okay.
people.
Right. Okay, Matt.
So everyone knows that the best game ever made, okay, was Glover and Diddy Kong Racing for the N64, right?
Oh, for Christ's sake. No, moving on from that. What games have I been playing? I've been playing Guns of Icarus, and I've been facing the developers of it, so Mused. And it's been interesting playing that.
Isn't Guns of Icarus like an older game?
No, Guns of Icarus Online.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Isn't Guns of Icarus an inferior game to Glover?
Okay, Glover was actually a
Glover was
pretty
good,
game.
but we're not going to go to Glover, because have you been playing it?
I have been playing Glover in my brain.
In your brain, okay.
Wait, if I
Dangerous
go-
place to go to.
If I go plug it into the N64 right now and start playing it, can we talk about Glover?
Can we talk about Glover?
No. No. Oh,
But
dear
if
me.
I'm playing it, then don't we have to talk about it?
Yes, we do.
That means we have to talk
Rules?
about League, technically.
Okay. One
Technically, we
second.
do. Well,
And
League is the best game.
I'm gonna
It's-
go try and find it
not.
now.
But anyway,
Yes.
I've actually seen Pacific Rim now. I saw it in 3D.
Oh, was it good? Because I've never seen
It's
it.
actually quite good. People say it's Transformers, but with all the action.
What's the
You actually
story
see
like?
The story, well, let's see.
There we go.
There's giant monsters, aliens in this case, That's it.
It'd be funny if you got the like Peterborough
Right.
and then.
That was my fault. Sorry.
Okay.
I was walking past the family.
Anyway, as I was saying, there's aliens that came not from space, but from the bottom of the Earth, from the Earth's crust. There's like some kind of
so wait.
portal. It's some kind of portal connected from there that's causing them to come through. So basically, all these like giant Godzilla creature things keep coming through, and
Do you
the
get to see Mothra?
no, don't. The humans decide to make giant robots to combat them.
Did they?
And it was going well, but then again the creatures then started getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and so it came
Okay.
so it came to the point that the robots themselves had to go.
Super Saiyan?
Yes, let's put it that way. Super Saiyan. No, they had to go, and they started going away, but they started getting destroyed quicker than they could be made. And the
Oh.
robots themselves need 2 people to pilot them
Wait, why?
because they're linked to it via their brain. They actually use their thoughts to control it, but then their own actions to move about in it. But it's too much strain for one person to take, so you have to have 2 people connected to it instead. So they are connected to each other as well.
So it's kind of like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like they have to form together, and they have to stay as one mind to create the ultimate
Yeah.
Zord, or whatever they were called. I can't remember what they were
Yes, but
called.
the thing is, the Zords are already made.
Oh, really?
They're already built together. But the main character himself, his brother died right at the beginning of the film. Well, in basically his brother and him, they used to be part of this sort of situation. And
What situation?
well, they were both pilots. So they used to be partnered together to take on the creatures themselves. And his brother got killed in action. So he was still linked to his brother when he died. So he actually just, it's a bit of a strange complication there. And he never piloted again after that. Because he controlled the actual robot by himself all the way to some random shore, and he stayed there for about 7 or 8 years. And that's when the creatures started getting stronger and stronger because they started figuring out what to do. And they come to like different generations. Like they were generation 4 by the time they're doing the film.
Oh, okay.
And it's mainly the story is that he has come back. They found him, and he's forced to fight again.
He's forced to, or he wants to?
Well, they ask him to. Hint, hint. Yeah. Persuade.
Persuade?
Persuade. That's a better way to put it. Persuade him.
Ho ho ho.
Yes. So he's basically fine. All over again. And then that's it, really. There's a bit of comedy in there. And that's it. That's Pacific Rim in a nutshell. I'm not going to say the ending or anything like that. There's a Japanese girl in it.
Is it? Ooh, well, okay.
And that's got me to it anyway. I'm fine. Anyway, and games I've been playing Guild Wars as well. Go back to games. I'm playing Guild Wars 2. Basically, logging on every day to get myself a quartz crystal, so I can make my celestial armor, which has recently come out armor, which has everything else. Every stat on it is ridiculous. And I'm playing Gary's mod as well. Gmod Tower, mini golf. What a game!
Dude,
What a game that is! I love it.
Oh, have you played what's it called? It's hide and seek or something, or
I know it's virus.
prop hunt?
Prop hunt. Oh, I've got prop hunt. I've played that as well. Oh, I love that.
Dude, I love prop hunt.
Prop hunt's so funny.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I usually pick the bottle and then hide underneath the car, underneath the wheel. They'd never see you.
Or you can just go in the barrel room. Be a
We got
barrel.
our room. It depends what map you're on though.
Yeah. I think it's cool. Is they make more maps. If they make a lot of maps of that game, it'd be pretty interesting.
But most people, other players, they just go, okay, shoot everything, then they're dead.
Yeah, it's true. I think
Blow
obviously
everything up. But the thing is, every mistake you do, you lose 5 HP. So if you
unless
just
you use a grenade, grenades use more.
yeah, grenades use more. If there's like 20 things in the room, you're guaranteed dead.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of risky.
Yeah, you have to make sure you find the right place.
Yeah. You can't just throw grenades everywhere and hopefully you get somebody.
Because the difference is from watching other people's videos of it and what you've been doing. Your friends won't tell you where they are. Other random people won't tell you where they are. Well, your friends might try and taunt you. And that's where it ends there. But going back to Guild Wars,
Ooh.
and it goes to our first topic, dynamic events in
Ooh.
MMOs. I mean, we had a bit of a discussion of this earlier, how dynamic events, well, we're all getting promised about dynamic events.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All this dynamic event hype.
Yeah.
Since as we recorded this podcast, the announcement for EQ Next is just finished.
Yeah, actually now finished now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We'll discuss
now
discuss
finished.
that later. See what
Yeah.
things are. Yeah. Dynamic events.
Yeah. So the thing with, now in technology with, new MMOs, everyone's trying to innovate. They want to find the new next best thing.
Hmm.
And to some people, the next best thing is looking to be completely dynamic, like worlds. Where
Random things just happen. Which aren't
Yeah, like-
actually random
yeah.
because they're programmed in. You can't make something completely random in dynamic events situations.
But when most companies refer to dynamic event, what they really mean is just randomly occurring kind of world events. Usually, when people refer to dynamic content, they refer to like in WoW when during Wrath of Lich King when the Scourge would invade the cities of Azeroth and stuff. That's what people usually think of when someone would just say like, dynamic content. They think, oh, world events.
Yeah.
But I think you can't build a game off of pure dynamic content because if it's all dynamic, then there has to be some sort of foundation built from static content. It's the reason dynamic content is fun is because it's a change of pace, right? You do the static content and then the dynamic content is, since it's different, it's just like it's refreshing, it's a breath of fresh air, as most people would say.
But
So
it's not now because everyone's bloody doing it.
Yeah, every game is doing it, and now it's
Final Fantasy 14's done it with their Fate events.
yeah, and I think with the issue is with what they want to do, and with I know we're not really touching on EverQuest Next really a lot, but what EverQuest Next was talking about, they were talking about destructible worlds and stuff. I think that kind of thing, I don't know if that's gonna. It's been tried before, the whole destructible world, and unless it's Minecraft, I don't know how it's really gonna work. In a sense, like usually they promise this stuff, and it's usually like when they say destructible worlds, like for example, in games like Battlefield has destructible terrain and stuff. But you can't just blow up everything. There's certain things that can be blown up, and certain things that just can't be blown up.
I know there's sometimes a limit on some of these games where they do allow you to blow up things, but once a certain amount of things have been blown up, nothing else can be blown up after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's very weird to kind of promise destructible terrain in an MMO because it doesn't seem like it really should. Like when you ask anyone who plays MMOs, and that's like any variety of MMOs, like there are a few things they're looking for, and I don't think destructible terrain usually isn't a big thing that jumps out. They want a good hub, good combat system. They want an interesting quests system. They want, usually, a lot of them want interesting stories and dialogue to kind of, because if the dialogue isn't interesting, why should you do quests? Is what
Exactly.
most people guess.
People like the storyline. People like stories.
Stories are good.
Yeah.
I like stories.
I mean, if you want to go into an RPG or an MMO for the gameplay, you're gonna get bored quickly.
Yeah, I
Because
think
it's always gonna be the same sort of style fighting.
Yeah, I think what I'm looking forward to seeing is a kind of a more dynamic combat system. With games like, for example, like Cube World, which is a small indie game, but the combat system in Cube World's pretty good. You have you're not just sitting there like WoW where you just kind of click abilities. You feel like you're actually like fighting the enemy, and it's not just boring for you.
What other games are there like that though? Can't think of it.
That are kind of have interesting combat.
Yeah.
Neverwinter has pretty decent It's pretty good.
Because Neverwinter's combat was based off another one, wasn't it? In a sense.
Yeah.
Vindictus.
Yeah, Vindictus.
Vindictus has that sort of combat where it had destructible terrain as well, but it actually worked really well. So if say an enemy was trying to cross the bridge, a whole bunch of them, you just sliced the bridge up, and all the enemies just fell and died or something like that.
Yeah, I think
it was a lot of fun. Vindictus.
I think if you're
There's
if
a
you're
prequel to
destructible-
Mabinogi, which was another MMO which didn't have destructible terrain and was quite boring, though the music making part of that was amazing.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point. Like destructible terrain has its if destructible terrain shouldn't be a selling point, it should be a feature.
Yeah.
You know, you have it in the game, but it's not something you're preaching on the mountaintop about it, because it's something that just it benefits. You should be preaching about the gameplay because it's a function of gameplay. It's not something that's just like gimmick, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, we have destructible terrain. It's like, no, we have interactive gameplay that allows you to strategize with the landscape around you. Boom. You know, that's not just, you're not just using buzzwords. You're actually explaining the design of the game, but and also mentioning the features of the game. And it's something that kind of entices you to the game itself. Because when I was watching when certain games get released, or they show them off at these like conferences and stuff, a lot of the time they want to talk about how the game is this and how the game is that. But I guess I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I think a lot of people, what they really want to see is they definitely want to hear about the game, like hear about the features. But if you're just talking about, like, you're bragging about what the game is, an interactive masterpiece of coagulating stories together with intricate moving pieces, that's just that you're now you're trying to sell. What? You're selling me the game too much. You're like a used car salesman.
You don't want to use such complicated. It's like a person using a dictionary just to find big words to make them sound smart.
Yeah, you're trying to make your game sound like amazing, and the people you're getting may not be the people you are the people that don't exist.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I mean, even like people who are let's say, like, even if you're just going on like based intelligence, okay, the people who are more intelligent I'm not one of them, okay, but people who are more intelligent that understand that can see through this. Yeah, they can see those,
understand those words, be like, this is just gonna be a terrible game.
They're not impressed, and the people who don't understand what you're saying
will not be impressed by it either, because they don't
aren't
understand the
impressed because
words.
they don't understand. Like, you have to, you just give it in layman's terms. Like, you say, you're blunt, you're straight to the point. You're saying, this is what the game is. Here's some of the features of the game, and then you're like, here's some gameplay. Check it out. And then you show them gameplay. You don't show them, because in the EQ Next, when they showed the people playing the game, there wasn't like a HUD. And maybe the HUD's not done yet, but why would you show off a game with not even a HUD done? You know, if you don't have a HUD done for your game itself, how much? Because that's what it's a graphical user interface.
Yes.
You know, it's a GUI. I interact with that. If it's something that I don't have if it's something that's not smooth and easy to access and easy to get into, then why would I want to play your game? Because I'm already gonna have trouble with your GUI. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have issues with their GUI right out of the gate, and that's a huge part of the game. Like, I played games where the game was good, but the GUIs they had on the game were just terrible. Like, it was clogged. It was just not streamlined, so it took forever to get to something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that was just there at your fingertips. You felt like you had to search through piles and piles of things just to get to what you wanted to get to.
And I don't like grinding. That's the sound of things in the end. Grind.
I think that with grinding, like, a lot of the MMOs are based on a grind.
They are a grind.
Level grind.
If you hide the grind very well, then good job, you're likely to keep people there.
Yeah, if it's a game that masks the grind, but it masks it in a way that instead of making the grind, instead of like
unbearable.
taking away the grind, like, one of the issues I had with the game, like Guild Wars 2, like it took away the grind with PvP by saying, oh, you can just get the PvP at the minimum level. You know, you can just get into PvP whenever.
Yeah,
that was something I had
straight away. It's useful. I do PvP on Guild Wars sometimes still.
I don't know, because to me that kind of took away kind of the fun to it. It just kind of took away.
But that's what World versus World was there for. It being boosted up to level 80, but you still didn't have the level 80 traits. You still didn't have the level 80 skill, the extra skills you had. You didn't have level 80 gear in World versus World.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the PvP side of things, but on a larger, huge scale.
But World versus World is. I'm not a very. It was basically like huge battlegrounds, and I hate battlegrounds. But I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like, if you take away the grind, right? It doesn't feel as rewarding. Is what I was trying to get into. Like the reason why I like playing PvP in games like WoW, is because I worked to get to level 90 or whatever the level cap is, I worked to get to a certain level. Like Neverwinter, I played PvP in Neverwinter, and some people were complaining about the PvP, and I understand because it's definitely not optimal.
There is a grind in PvP for Guild Wars.
Yeah.
It's more you're all the same level, but there is a rank system, and you have to level up through that rank system to get to a higher area, to get better looking gear.
Better looking or better performing?
Better looking. That's it. Guild Wars is more about skins than anything else when you get to the end.
I don't know. I think
you have to look good, and then people will respect you for it.
I don't mind the grind if the grind is fun, right? And there's something rewarding at the end of that grind.
Yeah.
That really, like, to me, that's what the whole, that's what you save PvP for. It's what you save raids for. It's that cookie you get, for doing good on like a test. Your mom will give you, she gives you a cookie. She's like, good job. You're like, yeah, I really wanted this fucking cookie, and the cookie tastes great because I did something that was.
That's like when you make your own food and you cook it. It tastes different.
Exactly. It tastes good because you put your effort into it.
Yeah.
And to me, if the, grind should, like obviously playing the MMO to get to leveling.
No. Food tastes way worse than when you have to make it yourself.
Really? That's because you.
No, I hate it. I hate it. Like I'll be sitting here, like I have to eat while I'm at work sometimes, and I'll sit there and I'll be like, man, this tastes so crappy because I had to sit there and make it.
Really?
I'm lazy. I'm lazy.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Well,
I make my
that's
food.
different.
I make it taste good.
Exactly.
You make it taste how you want it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and I mean, no, like I'm not saying it tastes bad, and I know that you can make it taste good, but it's just. It tastes so much better when you don't have to put the effort into it and somebody else does, and you're like, thanks for making that.
That's called sloth. That's one of the deadly sins.
I know. I'm lazy. I'm really lazy.
Oh, dude.
No, but I don't know. I mean, Benji understands because Benji's a smart British guy. But
I'm also half Asian.
Yes, Asians hard workers. Yeah. You heard it here first. I think a lot of people can agree. A lot of people, if you get things. The games that give you things for free, and if it feels to me like they're kind of handing it to you, it kind of takes away, like, obviously leveling in a game should never be something that's so boring that it puts you off, because the game is a game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun.
Fantasy 11. Now that grind was boring. I got to level 50 and I thought, oh no, I got to get to level 55, then you got to do a stupid quest to go to level 60. You're allowed to go to level 60. Keep doing that over and over, but the grind just to get there, was painful. It was so painful.
Because that's what I'm talking about. If a game has a grind that is fun, and you have these things you have end game content that kind of rewards you in a sense. Like, to me, when I played WoW, and people were like complaining about it, when I got to the end, I had so much fun because I felt like. Because I had played my class, from level 1 to 90, right? Done all the leveling, and now my reward for that was I got to do endgame PvP, and that was just fun, because it was fun. It was a whole nother. Now instead of grinding for levels, I
just figured out a game that has done this right. Dark Souls. No matter what you do in that, there's always going to be a bit of a grind, but you're going to always struggle because it's so challenging, because someone's going to invade you at higher levels.
Yeah.
Continuously, and that's where the entertainment comes in, because you're constantly on your toes, because not only are enemies even stronger once you've completed the game.
I forgot. I was thinking about Demon Souls when you were talking about. I was like, wait a minute, people can invade. I'm like, oh wait, they added that in
because Demon Souls is obviously the one that came before that.
Yeah.
And then Dark Souls there.
I get them confused.
Yeah. It's basically there was some kind of. I'm guessing there was some kind of thing between Sony and. They want Demon Souls to be exclusive, and I'm guessing they couldn't do that, so
They did Dark, and then they're
they
gonna
did
do
Dark Souls instead to go counter that.
I don't know.
Maybe. That's rumors anyway.
I guess that's why they didn't make a what is it? A Demon Souls for the PC. They made Dark Souls for the PC.
But yeah, I've got them both PS3 and PC.
Yeah.
And the expansion.
But yeah,
There's some videos of it up as well of me playing it. I've got some more videos to come up of it on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And
But
it's unlikely me being invaded soon. I'm gonna end up dead.
But to sum up all the points. Okay, dynamic content is good, but there has to be a balance of static or dynamic itself, or the point of dynamic becomes moot because then it's just basically the dynamic becomes the static.
It's also a bit linear.
Yeah, like
Everything has to be linear.
yeah, like an MMO is gonna have linearity because it's a leveling system, and if you try to remove leveling, it doesn't. It's the basis of any real MMO, is gonna have some sort of leveling system to it. It might not be something that's called levels, but it's going to have a level-like system into it, which means there's going to be some sort of leveling up process to the game, and that is going to be linear or static, meaning it's not going to really change. You know, you're going to have to, everyone's going to have to do it, but if with dynamic content, it helps break up the linearity so that it's like you have a little bit of grinding, you know, through static content, and then the dynamic content breaks up the action or breaks up the grind to kind of introduce new elements to the game that help, you know, and help make it an enjoyable experience. I think that's just basically that's good MMO sense, you know. And yeah.
Yes. Moving on from there is the next generation pre-orders. Okay. So for Xbox One and PS4, I know for a fact that Toys R Us UK have actually ran out on pre-orders for both.
Is that
of them
all
now.
of all Toys R Us?
All Toys R Us in UK, every one of them. They've reached their targets. They have now sold out pre-orders. You can't get any more. They were £10 for a pre-order. Basically, take £10 off of the main
we do
thing.
$5 I think $5 pre-orders in America is the minimum for usually.
Yeah.
For like GameStop.
And they've also said pre-order for games here is £55. Well, the prices are listed on the website, £55. And they may have shown the release date on the Toys R Us websites. They've put down November 29th for Xbox One and December 13th for PlayStation 4.
I thought they announced that the PS4 was coming out in November.
I know, that's the strange part about it.
Yeah,
There's things, it does say on there that it does say dates are subject to change, however, as are the prices.
I think I remembered something about the PS4 coming out in November. I think that was when they announced the PS4 for launch. I think they mentioned that.
See, I don't want to be reliable to Toys R Us website because they are usually quite wrong. They're usually very, very wrong.
I mean,
they always make mistakes.
They probably got the information. They probably did get the information straight from Sony.
I don't think they did.
You don't think they did?
I don't think they did because they always get it wrong.
Well, I mean, Sony can always change their minds. Maybe Sony said, "Here's a date. We might change it," and then Toys R Us is like, "Okay."
I know that in the US, a lot of stores there are actually nearly sold out.
Yeah.
All sold out pretty much of these pre-orders. Yeah. I think the only few places left, like a Walmart, is one of them.
I don't know. I think
there's one. I'm guessing there's a few others.
I kind of expected it to sell out though. I mean, it's the next console generation.
It is. It's gonna be
new consoles, like a bunch of the new consoles has. I mean, since the Wii U, which was the newest console that's out.
That didn't really go so well.
I mean, obviously on launch it didn't go well. It's kind of
the Wii's still outselling the Wii U even now.
Oh, really?
The thing, yeah. However, the 3DS has been the one that's been big and selling at the moment.
Yeah, 3DS
is actually being the PS3 and the 360 in sales this year.
Yeah, well, I think that's understandable.
Because
if you have a new PS4 and Xbox One, people are not going to be like, well, I'm going to go buy a 360 now.
I might as well.
But a lot of people are going to be like, well, I might as well just buy a PS4.
Because you might have to get a 360 because you can't play your 360 games on your Xbox One.
Yeah, but you couldn't play. You can't play PS3 games on.
You can't, no. But you've got the Gaikai system, haven't you? Which means you have to buy your games again on that.
Yeah. See, that's. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
when you throw away kind of like with the new console generations, they're gonna start throwing away cross compatibilities with their own games.
They were doing that with the old systems, though. You couldn't play your PS2 games on your PS3, and you can't play most Xbox games.
Yeah.
You could
on
with a
your
360.
fat PS3.
The 60
And even the Wii, even the Wii could, and then they stopped on the later Wii consoles. They stopped making it so you could play GameCube games.
Oh, I was so lucky to get my Wii. I tell you.
Yeah.
It was literally the very
had
last one that had. I literally got it last year. No, 2 years ago. It was the very last one that could play GameCube games. And I thought, oh my god, it even has still that little slot at the top where you place your controller in. I thought, I'm buying this. I need this now. Job done.
Yeah, I had a
brand new
Wii that could play GameCube games, but it had issues with the laser that read the discs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We eventually had to replace it, but when we went to buy one at the store, all they have is the new ones that do not play GameCube games anymore.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Same problem I've got with my PS3. My PS3 doesn't read discs anymore, so I don't know if the blue PS3, the slimline ones, can play PS1 games.
No, slim ones can't play older games. The fatter PS3s can.
Yeah.
That's a general rule of thumb, I believe. It's fatter. It doesn't matter what the storage capabilities. It's always the fatter ones are the older ones, and so they are cross compatible. And when they made the slimmer PS3, they took away the compatibility. Because they figured, I guess all the companies, they kind of figure, well, why keep it, you know?
Oh wait, I'm wrong. The slimline ones do actually play PS1 games still.
They don't play PS.
They don't play PS2 games, but they still play the PlayStation 1 games.
Oh, they do.
They do still play PlayStation 1 games. So that's how my PS3, the fat one, I always played PlayStation 1 games on it.
Oh, I see.
And so you can
I figured because I couldn't play PS2 games on my slim one, I figured, well, I guess you can't play any of them.
No, you can play PS1 games still on the slimline ones.
Really interesting.
Which is very strange because the PS2 used DVDs, didn't they?
The
Yeah,
PS2
didn't it?
did.
Yeah, and the
PS3 switched to Blu-ray.
Yeah, PS1 uses the black discs.
Yes, if I
Yes.
remember correctly.
So maybe that's why the Blu-ray ones can play them.
But
Do we need to go back to cartridges? I love those. Cartridges
please
of the
don't.
days. Nintendo 64. Speaking of, have you found your Glover?
Actually, I've been playing it for like 10-15 minutes now.
Here we go.
Okay,
Now we
I
get
just-
to
real
talk about
conversation.
Glover.
I wasn't sure when to bring it up, so I didn't.
Glover. Now we get to talk. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I guess for pre-orders. I mean, I don't think it surprises anybody. If we get back on the pre-order topic, I don't think anyone is surprised that it's selling out. You know, it's a big thing.
It's sold out.
The whole
Everything's
rivalry.
If you're trying to
PS4,
get one for Christmas, hard luck.
I
That's
don't
what I'm saying.
understand though, people. To me, if I could understand pre-ordering consoles, but these consoles specifically, I looked at the the releases for the Xbox 3, Xbox One, and the PS4, like the ones that I'm
Sometimes you wanna
really
get them early. Why get them early? Because the games aren't going to be out yet. The ones that you want.
even the multiplayer games you want to get with your friends or something,
Yeah.
they're not out. The really good single player ones. That
The
they've
only
announced-
one that will be out ready will be Call of Duty, Ghosts. That's the only one going to be. But that's
Yeah,
for
well,
both
that's-
consoles.
That's coming out in November, right?
Yeah, that's going to come out at the same time for the actual consoles.
Yeah, I guess if you're buying the new generation because you want that new Call of Duty Ghost, I mean, that's all fine and dandy.
And then after that, you got to get Metal Gear Solid 5. That'll be somewhere late.
A lot of the games that are coming out for the new generation are going to be 2014, and even they haven't even announced when in 2014. I'm assuming fall. That's usually when they like to announce. They like to release. I mean, a lot of the games. And even Kingdom Hearts 3, which has been a huge.
It has a huge amount following after that. That was like, wow.
But the issue is, since they didn't announce a release date, I would assume 2015 is what I would assume, because they didn't even have gameplay for it, right? So I'm assuming that it's in development right as we speak. So it's either going to be late 2014 or early 2015, I would assume. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I heard you.
Because because you can't just, they're obviously going to need time to develop it. And if they're not, and they just released it to create the buzz that they want with for this new Kingdom Hearts game. And obviously it's worked. It's got the bug.
Oh, second.
Oh dear me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on in the background there.
You just edited Alana out.
I think we might have to.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. No, I wasn't thinking that I was on my phone, so I was like, oh, I want to have a microphone, so I can just unplug my headset.
Oh dear me.
Because my case has bubbles, so I can't use the microphone very easily.
Okay. But
As we say about Kingdom Hearts. Oh
what
dear.
were you gonna say about Kingdom Hearts?
No. Oh, you were talking about the hype of Kingdom Hearts and how well they've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype. So they succeeded in that,
Hmm.
and now we just gotta wait for some actual concrete gameplay to come from it or something.
By the looks of it, there was some gameplay in that trailer. Some.
But it didn't
But-
look. It looked more like a weird kind of cinematic.
Yeah.
It didn't really look like something. It didn't look like there was any way to like input, because like the way the Heartless moved and stuff.
Yeah. I'm guessing with the way that little trailer that came along there, that's going to be an event. You can jump
Yeah,
on it. It will be a special event. Like,
yeah. Like
like
they
they
did in
did-
Kingdom Hearts 2.
where you had to fight a whole bunch of enemies, like a whole bunch of hunts.
and
Yeah,
And you would hit like triangle at certain points, and it'd be like kind of like quick time events kind
Yeah.
of.
that's all it was, I'd say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
We've lost
It'll be-
Savannah, with the looks of
Oh well, we don't need her.
it.
So that's. I mean, that's next gen pre-orders.
Oh, wait,
No.
okay, let's see. She
Next.
says she can't mute her mic. She had to quit Skype. I think I need a new case. What? Right then, next one. We move to
Okay.
EverQuest next, whereas you will be watching the live stream earlier, while at the beginning of this podcast. What was happening there then?
Okay, so the thing with EverQuest Next is, from what I got, because I didn't watch the whole thing in its entirety, because
Yeah.
I had caught it so kind of around the middle of it. But from what I got, that they were trying to emulate kind of the voxel kind of art styles that have been really popular with games like Minecraft and now Cube World that has come out recently. They're emulating that kind of art style, and they're trying to take some of the game design elements that Minecraft has, like destructible terrain and stuff, and they're trying to add that in there. But
I don't understand why you want to add this destructible terrain. What is this with people with destruction lately?
I don't know. I guess people just like to watch the world burn.
Apparently, some people that's a Batman quote right there.
Yeah, it is.
Mr. Wayne. Some people just like to see the world burn.
I don't know. It's just one of those things that if it's there in the gameplay, it's there in the gameplay. But to me, it's not a big selling point, because it's a not to, even to me, it's not really an effective buzzword. You know, because you sit there and you're like, destructible terrain, and no one's sitting there like, oh, like buzzwords are usually like dynamic gameplay or consequential story or something like that, like something that's vague enough that it can it's vague enough to be like everyone can recognize it, but it sounds cool.
I know what game did it right, or has done it right. Arcade.
Yeah,
The Korean thing, wasn't it?
Arcade.
Arcade, yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I just looked at okay.
It's basically there's a whole bunch of races. It's currently in Korea. Koreans always make the best games. South Korea, that is.
Koreans.
South Korea.
Well, yeah, we don't know how good North Korean games are, so I don't think it's safe to judge.
Apparently, they say that North Koreans are currently playing games like WoW, hacking accounts, and somehow using the money from those to make money for North Korea to make
Chinese
nuclear
have
bombs.
been doing that forever.
And Chinese have been doing it for ages, apparently, as well. So,
Yeah.
if you want to do it right, follow China. That's racism count number whatever it is. Moving on. Arcade.
it's
Back
not-
to Arcade. It's not racism.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not racism if it's been proven true.
It has been proven. It has been proven. Yes.
Okay, it's not like it's not even racist.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yes,
We're talking about Chinese gold farmers.
Yeah.
I
In
know,
WoW.
I know. I'm watching this guy. Okay. It is racism, even if it's proved true. Because I made the comment one time. I think this is the most racist thing I've ever said in my entire life. I was trying to describe to my dad how much hermit crabs like honey, and all of a sudden I paused and I said, "Dad, I feel like black people on fried chicken. Black
Wait,
people
no.
like fried chicken. That's proven because everyone likes fried chicken.
Whoa,
But
I
that doesn't mean
I
that
don't
it's
like
not
fried chicken.
racist.
But you're not black. Are you?
Yeah. Well, okay. No, the thing is, we're not talking about the Chinese like to gold farm. We've been
Right.
saying there are Chinese gold farmers.
Yeah, there are
As
gold
in-
farmers, as in they are in WoW.
They exist.
Yeah, they
and
exist.
They've been proven to exist.
And they
it's
use
not a
that
gen-
money. I think
Yeah,
that was the
it's not a
government.
generalization. It's not. They in China they hire people to gold farm.
Yeah, and they
Wow.
the money they get out of it, they use to fund themselves or something.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's a job. It's a job. to
It's a
gold
good job actually. I would love that job.
it's not a generalization because we're not saying all Chinese. We're saying in some certain scenarios it's been
Yes.
shown that they do. It's just a little tidbit of
Okay.
information.
Moving on back to how Arcade was.
Or is
So
'cause
we're
it
just
still
we're waiting for it to come out in Europe. I mean, we do have in Australia and North America, we do have a publisher for it.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet. No. It's out in Korea already. It's out
Is
in
it-
Japan already. It came out in Japan on the 23rd of July. It has not been announced for Russia yet. So I don't know when it's coming out for Russia. Basically, the idea is that you have a huge world. It's basically zoneless. It's all in third person. It has a housing system. This is where it becomes very interesting, because you can make a house in some of these islands, and you can have other people make houses, and you can eventually make your own little town. And you can have all these animals or your own little pets, and you can raise them. Other people can then get those pets as well, and
Wait, what game
they
is
can
this?
breed together. And you can make other animals. It's
This
genius.
is wow. I'm looking at this game and
And it has a lot of adventure in it as well. You get to go out into the world killing monsters, stuff like that. You can make boats and you make ships. You can have massive naval battles in the ocean itself.
Wow.
With cannons and that, and it's genius.
I mean,
Make crops. It's like it's probably like the next level of RuneScape thinking about it.
Yeah, okay. you bring up a good point. If a game that is, if you claim to be, you want an open world kind of stuff.
Yeah.
RuneScape is like open world to the max.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, I mean, it's kind of an issue because there's like the quests are like basically useless
Yes, they are.
So you-
They are.
unless you do like the paid quests.
And even then,
Even then, it's like, eh.
I just did all
Okay.
the quests for the free one. Why do I have to do more?
Yeah, I did. I remember I finished all the quests for the, even the one that was like you had to like fight like a level like 70 monster or
Yeah,
something.
level
I just-
70 dragon. I think it was a dragon.
Yeah, I just snuck
Yeah.
past it.
I killed it.
Oh.
I had like 5 or 6 cakes. And went, "Ugh." Those were the
Yeah.
days.
But the thing is, like, if you're gonna do an open world game, like an open world MMO, you have to have elements of the game that are like beneficial, like to it. Like open world doesn't just mean like it's a big area. It means there has to be certain things in that area that need an open world to be in there. Like an open world is like a medium that other features are delivered
Hmm.
using. Like if you it's like if you can't have like farming and stuff if it's not an open world game.
Yes.
Like it's like certain like the features of a game.
I mean, the features on this one is very interesting. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
point where the naval
Houses.
battles, the houses, the naval battles,
The
which you-
glider, the
gliders,
courts.
the pet system where you actually breed your pet and you raise it from being a baby and you train it so it can become a mount or a battle companion.
Yeah.
That's where you can teach it all sorts of abilities from that. That's quite good from what I've seen. As a,
Yeah, I think
You can dance the entire game, and so you can actually fight while dancing. That's just.
No, but what I was
I'm gonna
saying
keep doing that.
was like, okay. So
Oh,
like
you can
it's
fight
the
a
same thing
kraken.
when I brought up the point earlier about the whole destructible terrain thing.
Hmm.
It's like you can claim a game as open world, right? You can use it as like kind of like a buzzword for like a sales pitch, and that's great. But if there isn't features that benefit from having that open world experience, then what's the point? Then the open world just becomes just a buzzword and nothing to really be of any like it doesn't really benefit the player's experience in the game. you know. But like with Archage, from what I'm seeing, they have a lot of things that benefit from an open world style of a game, with the siege battles, the trading, the fact that you have ships, houses, you have jails, and you have all these things that seem to benefit from having an open world, and that kind of helps the formula of an MMO, because if you have like if you have an element that benefits other elements in your game and they all mesh together, that creates the game, that helps the gameplay experience. I'm not gonna sit here and hype up Archblade or Archage because I haven't seen too much of it because I'm just looking at it right now from what you told me about it. It looks like something that is at least trying to go in the right direction.
Yes.
I don't know if it's there. I don't know if it's close to being there, but I know it's trying, and that's what we want, and that's what I want. I think it's what a lot of people want. They want games that try. They try to do things in a way that benefit the game and aren't just kind of, well, we're doing this just because we want to sell the game. We do it because we want the game to be good.
Yes.
We do it because this is what would benefit the game, not because this is what we think people are gonna like in the game.
See, the feature I'm thinking here, the people usually mention about economy in these online games now, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Now I'm guessing Arcade may be player-run economy entirely.
Well,
that could be.
Yes.
That's a feature in itself, but at the same time, it could be one hell of a problem if it's not.
Yeah, I think
really
a lot of games just have an economy by just saying, "Oh, we have a auction house. That's our economy." But if you have like trading and stuff,
yeah,
I don't know. I think
Guild Wars has a trading post where it's safe. The trading post is safe. You know you will get your trade. You do have to pay a fee to use it, and other people will then buy it from that. But the problem is, you obviously have the trading fee. Like 20%, you have to pay 20% of the fee you want to put up there. Mm-hmm. And if you go by the unsafe route, that is by trading itself by mail, you risk the problem there, because you might get scammed at that point, and you lose your item, and they've kept their money. So it has its plus sides and has its downsides. I mean, the player-run economy in Guild Wars is so bad at certain points. I mean, I personally have helped wreck the food economy in that game.
Wow.
I've actually wrecked it entirely. Everything is so cheap on there, even the level 80 food. I mean, the best level 80 food, people just use the Om berry bars, and that's about 3 silver. The Om berries themselves are worth more than the actual food you can make out of it.
Wow.
Yes, that's how well that economy has been ruined on the food department. The main department that has the best things to have is literally the materials to get money. And precursors, and the precursors for legendary weapons. That's where the money is. But it's near impossible to get all that stuff for the legendary weapons, because it's so rare. That's why they cost so much. While player-run economy just don't work that well. You need some kind of guidelines, I find.
It needs a structure to it. I think what your concerns are, if I can just kind of summarize it up a little bit, is that if you have an economy that doesn't have a foundation to it, like with Guild Wars you're talking about, the only way to really make safe, gold, and not like safe as in like it's like you have the items, right?
There's no value to there's actually no base value to the actual food themselves. They need a base value, because you could actually set the values to be 1 copper.
You could basically monopolize the market.
Yeah.
Like you need kind of like some sort of guidelines to it.
You can undercut so many people instantly, and people will continuously undercut before everything becomes worthless. I could undercut the precursor market if I had loads of them, and then it becomes really, really cheap from there. I could potentially do that if I wanted to.
Yeah, but I think it's just something that the devs have to consider.
The only way to have a good economy is if developers are going to interact with the economy and put in items that will cause money to go out of the player's economy and back into kind of not existing.
The only problem with this is if we have developers who could do this with the economy, why can't we do this with the real world?
Well, everyone
Your
knows
economy
that
sucks.
regulation, okay, is bad.
Yes.
Because when countries have tried it, like Canada, okay, it doesn't work. Okay? We've seen in Canada that although they haven't had a bank failure in a long, long time, they have a very bad economy because it's all reliant on maple syrup.
Oh god, here we go.
You can't base a whole economy on something that comes from trees. It doesn't work.
The sad part is that's slightly true because the minute that maple syrup time hits, everyone just like goes out and buys like 4-liter jugs of maple syrup.
Really?
They buy as much as they
Are you
can. Yeah,
absolutely serious?
Really?
I am. I'm completely serious.
That's amazing. I'm going to live in Canada.
I didn't know you were Canadian.
I am. I will take pictures of our jugs that we have. They're like,
Oh dear.
they're very big.
People could take this the wrong way at this point.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully nobody jumps in then. Maple syrup jugs. Let's just correct that.
Maple syrup, eh?
Oh, jugs of maple syrup. Okay,
Nice.
so that's that, and we're still in EverQuest.
We still.
In case you didn't
We're
realize,
actually on EverQuest. I don't know how the hell we got that far away.
we went on Arcade because we were talking about destructible terrain and
Yes.
open world stuff. I'll just say this for EverQuest because I'm the one who actually watched it and these guys did not. EverQuest, if you can do stuff right and you look fun, I will play you even if you cost money. But if you don't look fun, I'm not gonna play you.
You suck. You're never again.
If you give me buzzwords, I'm not gonna get any interested for the game. If you show me gameplay and you show me game elements of the game that are both exciting and rewarding, sign me up. Okay? I will pay for it. I pay for WoW. Okay? I will pay for your game. I'm not don't be afraid to take some risks. You know? To go where no game has gone before. You know? If Neil Armstrong would have sat there and said, I don't want to go on the moon, you know what would have happened? Someone else would have gone. Okay? But, you know what? I'd like to think that it wouldn't have happened because Neil Armstrong was the one who personally got us to the moon. I would like to think it was all Neil Armstrong that got us there. But that would be wrong.
That'd be
But
wrong, 'cause there's
sometimes I
three
like to
people
assume-
there. There's 3 people there.
Sometimes I like to assume that things are wrong.
There's Buzz Aldrin,
All right.
Neil Armstrong, and that other guy. I always forget the third one. It's like he was the guy who sat, as they quoted this before. He's the guy who sat on the spaceship and went, "Okay, you two, you enjoy yourselves down there. I'm gonna stay here."
The heck?
That's basically the gist of it. That's the third guy.
Was he an 11-year-old boy?
Apparently.
How old was this guy?
I don't know.
How did he get to the moon?
I don't know, but damn, he's a lucky kid.
Okay, but
Well,
I
I
guess-
just want to say that I might not have watched the video do with EverQuest Next, but I've actually played EverQuest before, so I mean,
well, they're trying to be different in this one, didn't it?
it's,
Yeah.
it's got to count for something. Now, I mean, EverQuest was one of the funnest MMOs I've ever played, though. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's really good.
I know. I've never played EverQuest. I played RuneScape. Is that close?
RuneScape was the biggest piece of trash I've ever laid eyes
Whoa.
on.
Oh.
I
don't
almost
get on my level.
cried when I played that.
RuneScape. I remember going to. Oh my gosh, Benji, do you remember the town with the D on it? That's the north of starting area?
So I got that entirely wrong there.
Oh my God.
D.
It's. I'm gonna look up a RuneScape map. Give me a second. I want to find out what this place is called. Why are these maps so low quality? It's called Varrock. Oh, there wasn't a D. It was
there
a D.
wasn't a D. In
Oh no, there was one to the west. It was Draenor Village.
Oh
If
yeah,
that
was that the one with the
vampires?
What's
Yeah, the
the
mansion,
mansion
to the north
Yeah.
with Dracula in the basement.
Oh.
Yeah, it was one of the free quests.
Yeah.
But no, I would go. I remember this. I would go to Varrock. Okay, and there's a mining thing out of Varrock to the southeast of Varrock. There's a
That's
little bit of a
what
mining
it was
camp.
about was just mining. If you had to mine,
It was.
you could just sat there
Exactly.
mining for hours, and then
My mining skill was higher than my combat skill for a while.
So was mine.
Because mining was
My
just
mining and
fun.
smithing was the highest. I thought, oh, brilliant. And then suddenly, every now and then your mining pick goes flying and you got to go find it. At one point, I got really lucky and found a rune mining
Wait,
pick.
wait,
Literally,
your mining pick? Your mining pick would go flying?
Yeah, as in the pick itself can break and it goes off.
What?
But-
Oh wait, when did that start happening?
Oh, that was ages ago. And it
I'm
was-
talking about like RuneScape in like what, 9 years ago?
So was I.
Really? Because I do not remember my pick ever breaking.
I remember someone's pick. Well, it doesn't break. It just goes pings off. Like,
I don't actually
Thumbs
remember
off?
that. Oh well, I
So
might
it
have.
sometimes happens, and someone couldn't find their room when I picked it up and kept it until.
I remember
and
in
I put
RuneScape.
my one on top of it, and I thought, yes, I've got a rune mining pick now.
No, if you go to RuneScape, okay, and you go to Varrock, the city, you go to the southeast and you go to it's on the map. It's a little arrow.
There's
It's
a
like I,
giant
the-
mine area.
yeah, it teleports you to a clay mine, right? And you could sell clay for so, like you could just sell. I sold clay all the time.
I always sold.
and-
Oh,
I sold clay because no one could compete with you for it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you couldn't get like no one would compete with you for it. Like I tried to get like gold and other stuff, but I would always have people who wanted to compete with me. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck it, I'll just go mine
I always
clay.
beat people for coal. I always beat everyone with coal.
I'd bugger off, as you English people say, and I'd go to my clay mine and I'd just sit there and I would mine as much coal. I'd get a full inventory of coal, turn it all into banknotes, and then put it in my bank.
Oh yeah, banknotes. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I would turn it into banknotes and then I would just sell it out of banknotes.
Yeah, and everyone grabs and goes, oh, loads of clay.
That's what I would do
There's
all the
kids who were
time.
playing this.
Yep, and that was RuneScape, and that was the best economy I've ever played in the game.
Yeah, RuneScape's economy actually works for some reason. There you go, developers. If you need to learn economy, go to RuneScape.
It's still. It's such a bad game.
RuneScape is like what EverQuest wishes it could be.
But
Wow.
RuneScape like made my eye bleed when I played it.
How long ago
When
did you play it?
when did you play it? That's the question.
Oh, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago now.
Didn't they
There
improve,
we go.
didn't they improve it then?
No, RuneScape. What was it? It was 2007.
I remember how when it was really bad graphics, but I thought this game was awesome.
No, it was RuneScape when I was in 3rd grade, which is 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Back then, RuneScape was the
What was I
ish.
9 years ago?
It was the ish. That was 2004 RuneScape, right?
I was
Yes.
14. I was 14 at the time. I wasn't just started upper school.
Yes.
Pretty much.
2003 RuneScape was the ish.
Hmm.
Okay, and then they try to go weird, and they're like, let's improve the graphics and stuff. And then I don't know. I like old RuneScape. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people do
I
too.
think you still can play the old RuneScape.
They do it. Now you can,
Yeah.
because they used to not have it, and then a lot of people wanted it. And so they're like, whatever, we'll just add it. Because they figured, why not?
Yeah.
It didn't really cost them like any more.
I mean, they got
And
people who play membership for that game.
Yeah, they got people to pay and come back to play, because a lot of people, like I said, left
Hmm.
RuneScape because of the newer RuneScape.
And so they got the people back.
No, they left because it was a piece of trash.
People left because they found other games.
Okay,
Because
you know
it was
what?
a piece of trash.
RuneScape and MapleStory were some of the greatest times I've had on MMOs.
Oh, Maple
In
Story.
fact,
No,
I
I had a lot of fun on MapleStory. I
No,
just
you
like
The
I went to
community, as you
like
said last time, the community was what was downside.
yes.
Yeah.
That
The
is
racism, like this podcast.
okay. I actually don't have a problem with racist jokes most of the time. I really don't. But that community, they're not making racist jokes.
they're great. Okay, racist jokes takes a lot of forms. Okay, especially when it's true racism. Like racism at its base core is funny. Okay.
Hmm.
Now if you're hurting, and now if okay, well I take it back. Slavery is kind of funny in a sense. Okay,
My
you
goodness.
could make slavery jokes and they'd be kind of funny. Okay.
Slavery was funny though. Is not true. Slavery
Whoa,
wasn't
whoa, whoa.
funny.
I never said slavery was funny, Alana. What are you talking about?
You
Whoa.
kind of just
Whoa.
did.
Whoa.
Kind of
Alana,
just
Are
did.
you racist? Did you
I-
just say slavery
Oh
is
my
funny?
goodness. No,
Oh
you
my
did.
God. Wow, what a hypocrite.
Oh dear me. Oh, in front of an Asian person. Sorry.
No, but
Bring that
okay.
on
you can make jokes about a lot of subjects, okay? And you can make slavery jokes, and they can be funny. Not saying slavery is funny like you did, but I said slavery jokes can be funny. Like rape jokes can be funny.
What? Yeah, they can.
Exactly.
I'd rather not go into those jokes.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about. We're
That's
not
a
going to give
we don't-
examples.
That's a
We're
level
not
we
going to
don't
give
go to.
examples of those kind of jokes. But
Okay, so by your logic, things like pedophilia can be made into jokes.
yeah,
There's actually a lot of jokes
dude,
like that.
I always make jokes about how I have feelings for children.
My goodness.
No,
That's banned from
I
this podcast.
I went up to my teacher. Okay, one day, and I said, "What do you think is better to do? Should I, if I go to a playground, I'm looking for little children, right? Should I tell them I lost my dog, or that I have candy? Because I've seen from like Law and Order that a lot of kids fall for like I lost my dog, but classic is oh I have candy in my van. That's a classic joke or the classic line. Are kids getting smarter? Is what I was trying to say. Are kids getting above? Being tricked by candy? Do you need to now trick them into thinking you have some sort of imaginary dog? Food for thought.
Matt is like, you are the worst. I can't.
With this moment, I was going to move on to the next topic, but I think we might have to stop the podcast here from this certain situation.
I can't even like express myself, and that's very hard to do to me. So congratulations.
Oh no.
Yep.
And this is basically how these podcasts can continue to keep going. Through fueled hatred.
Man,
It
if I
starts off
wasn't,
talking about video games, and then somewhere along the line we derailed and talking about pedophilia and how it's a funny subject.
I don't know how we have the worst subjects in this, I tell you. The worst subjects. But, of course, we do want to go back onto topic. Honestly, I don't know how the hell we can go back onto topic after that.
Well, now Americans, if they love one thing other than racist jokes, it's planes, right?
Which is a brilliant film for the kids when it comes out.
Yes, great film. Go see it with your children, or go see it with the children you picked up at the park, whatever.
Back to the pedophilia.
No, but apparently, Ace Combat Infinity is going free to play for the PS3. Now, I've never played it, / I don't know what that game is, but Benji does, so Benji's gonna explain.
Ace Combat is a flight simulator game where you are using fighter jets and you will basically shoot down other jets or targets using your own jet. It's a lot of fun, apparently.
Is it strictly multiplayer, or is it a single player game?
It's single player as well. I can't remember what the multiplayer aspects is like because I've never played the later versions. I only played like the really retro ones, the old ones.
The old
The original PS1.
Oh, now we're going really retro.
We're going really retro. And those were the days. That was just full single player. And you just literally just shot people.
Mm-hmm.
Other jets.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, it was first released in 1992 for a flight sim action game, and eventually 1995. There you go. It was released in 1995, the first one. Look how
Now you
old is that?
mentioned Sims.
What about Sims?
Well, I was watching a video on The Sims the other day.
Which
it
one,
was one of
Sims
those.
3?
Did you know? It was the Did You Know Gaming.
Yeah.
The series, and they were talking about like Sim facts. I thought that was pretty interesting because it talked about how with Sims 2, like they had trailers for the game, and a lot of the stuff they had in the trailers weren't actually in the original game, but they came out in like add-on packs to it. And it's widely believed that, or it's believed by some people that they had the stuff for the game itself, but there was a fire in the offices that made the Sims, right?
Yes.
And that they lost all their data for the game, and they had to remake the game from scratch.
Oh god.
Yeah, and so when they remade it, I guess they didn't have enough time, and so they couldn't put those features in the game, which I guess sounds a lot better than saying we just kept them out because we wanted you to pay more.
Yeah, we was like, we lost it all. I'm sorry. but we kept to the deadline, so here we are.
Fun fact, though, that's the same thing is true for the new for the Wind Waker remake that's coming out.
Hmm.
I heard from a pal of mine that they were talking about how that they had lost most of the game data for the original Wind Waker,
Ooh.
and that they had to remake it from scratch. So, interesting little tidbit that may or may not be true. I'm not really sure. I haven't really done my research into it. But if it is true, it'll be pretty interesting to see if there's going to be any key differences, especially because people speedrun, games like Wind Waker, and is it going to be something that people who speedrun Wind Waker aren't going to want to buy because they've essentially taken the glitches out by remaking, the game from scratch? Like certain key glitches might not be there, certain glitches may be there. There might be certain dialogue, like certain changes might be there, and it might be kind of interesting. I mean, I won't buy it because it's a godless remake of a classic game, but it's an interesting kind of thing to think about because it makes you think about what really goes into making these games. It's not like they have these giant Nintendo warehouses where they're like, these is the game files for the original Super Smash Brothers, and they pull out this giant record or something of all the changes they ever made to Super Smash Brothers. So it makes you think that they're not when you picture people who make games. I think it's kind of hard for people to picture how games are really made. A lot of people like to just think of these guys as just super genius programmers and these huge mega offices, but
It's really not like that.
It's really not at all
It's
like
nothing
that.
like that at all.
They are humans. They make human mistakes. Well, obviously we see that when they actually but they make
I mean, you
human-
look, Hideo Kojima, the director, he himself has apologized on the delay of Metal Gear Solid 4 at one point. When that release, because he had to push the delay back. Or the
I
game
think
release back.
I think it's kind of neat to see not just look at them as as just some sort of company.
Don't think of them as a company. And don't think of
They're-
them as gods either. Though the
Yeah.
guys at Blaze Blue, developers, we like to think ourselves as gods. He did say that at one point. But
Oh well.
it was quite funny to hear that. But they are pretty awesome people. That's a good game coming out as well soon. Chrono Phantasma. Blaze Blue is the game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I love
Chrono-
fighting games.
Yes. Chrono Phantasma, the third Blaze Blue game coming out. Well, it's not the third, it was the fifth. Because they redid the second one 4 times.
Well, if you Google Chrono Phantasm, they already have a Blue Blaze Chrono Phantasm Noel Vermilion super sexy pillowcase, double-sided.
I'm buying that, by the way. I'm really not.
What? Benji, I know you're Asian,
I can't.
but you don't have to buy it.
I can't help the Asian tendencies are there.
Is it only PS3 exclusive?
It is.
It is. Ooh.
Yes.
Or is it? When's it coming out?
Early 2014 for North America. There's no release date for Europe. That's really annoyed me. I'm looking at.
Might as well go buy a US version.
Well, I think the PS3 games actually work on all consoles.
Oh
It will-
gosh, that
So I can actually
That
get the Japanese version, play it on my one.
man,
I'm gonna have to get the North American version and import it here.
this is gonna be awesome. I love fighting games. Fighting games in general are just awesome.
But we need to play more fighting games.
We should play more fighting games.
We should. Have you got PS3? Have you got Blaze Blue?
I have on my PS3. I have that one fighting game, Persona 4.
Damn it!
Don't have that?
I don't have that.
What do you have
I've got, funny enough, pretty much every other fighting game other than that.
on your PS3?
Yeah.
God damn it, Benji!
I've
I
got
have
I've got
Street Fighter.
I've got Street Fighter somewhere.
On my PC, I have Street Fighter.
Oh, I don't have that on my PC.
Get it now, Benji. Get it now.
I've got no money. But anyway, moving from that,
Yes.
that's the end of the Nerdolution podcast.
Unless Alana wants to
Unless
talk about how
there
great
is
the
some-
Wii U is.
No, but we could talk about Glover, like you said we could if I
Yes.
found the
Okay.
game.
Wait.
We're asking you
Before
about
we
this.
end it, We need to talk about Glover.
Okay.
It's just something that needs to be done. Because Glover's just one of those games. It's a classic. It's Glover. It's Glover time, you know? Sometimes I just think to myself, it's Glover time. You know?
That just sounds so amazing. I just don't know what else to say to that. It's Glover time.
It is Glover
I'm
time.
gonna quote.
It's always Glover time. It's never not Glover time.
That's a quote of the day right there for some people. Quote for life.
Life saying, you know? When the going get tough, the tough gets Glover.
Confucius sayings by Matt. Number 1. Oh God. Anything else about Glover while we're here? How has your gameplay been going for you, Alana? Well, playing
well, when I was eating, which I've barely eaten anything, I moved to Dr. Mario because it's more of a mindless game. But Glover, I've never actually like sat down and played the game. Like I played the game as a kid. Like, you know, I just sat there with the controller and moved the guy and basically got creeped out because I thought the music was scary. So I'm actually been playing it now. It's a very good game, actually. You know, it's very well built. Usually, I don't like going back and playing N64 games. It's weird to say, I know, because it's such a classic console. But like, I have these images of how amazing these games were, and then I'm playing. It's like, wow, these games aren't as amazing as I remember. But no, Glover has lived up to the expectations because it's better than I remembered. I just remember the glove.
You play as a glove. That is a living glove. It's hard for it not to be amazing.
Just why? Sorry, living glove. Something all I could think about was, well, not a living glove, but obviously a hand. And I was just starting to think of the Addams Family.
Oh yeah.
The thing, wasn't it? Yeah. That's all that came to my head. Oh, but Glover, don't you just move a ball around.
Yes, you did.
That's just it.
Yeah, it's Glover.
How successful was Glover again?
Not very.
Not very.
I don't think it was very successful, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh no.
It may have not been that successful, if I remember correctly, but...
It probably wasn't.
Oh.
Oh dear me.
It's a good game, though. You know.
Nothing
good.
wrong with Glover. Good old glove. You know.
You shouldn't base someone's success on sales like the Wii U. You know.
Well, I mean,
we
in
can say
that
that.
case, you can base it entirely on sales.
If you go to Square Enix,
Actually,
they
one
say
thing
they-
that I want to talk about is that article on the site. Don't know who wrote it. Got really, really mad about it, though. I didn't even read it. I was like so mad. It was something about the Wii U was saved through Call of Duty.
Oh, I've read. Oh, that's a new one. That's a very new.
I was starting to just like flip my lid at whoever wrote that because it doesn't make any sense. Because the reason why the Wii U is still alive is we don't know why they kept it. Why are they keeping it alive? It's probably because it's new console. They want to give it a chance, and Nintendo has quite a bit of money. But a theory that I actually heard is Animal Crossing was so successful in its launch that they have so much money, so they can just like keep supporting the Wii. It's like, yeah, they're just gonna fund the Wii U with this game. But
That's
I mean,
how the 3DS is going to. The 3DS at the moment is the thing that's funding the Wii U.
Exactly.
The 3DS is the most successful console at the moment.
But I think the Wii U is going to get more successful soon because Pikmin 3 is coming out.
It already is out.
2 days?
It's already been out.
Are you serious?
Pikmin 3's been out for a while. Pikmin 3's been out here since last week.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
My sister said that it was coming out on Sunday. I'm going to go beat the crap out of her later. No, she's buying, so I don't really care.
Pikmin
I don't
3.
spend my money on the Wii U. It's really bad to say considering I advocate it, but
Yeah.
it's a good system, and they're starting to get the titles that people like Pikmin 3. Because Pikmin is a great franchise, and
well, I mean, some might disagree.
Listen.
I will.
Oh, I think
I
I know.
will.
It does come out on the 4th of August for America and Canada.
I will buy a pet tarantula, and when it sheds, I'm gonna send part of its skin to you, Matt.
Wait. Oh, cool. I'm getting kind of peckish.
Because that's.
You don't even know what to say to that, do you?
Have you ever had spiders? Spider skin is pretty delicious. It's a delicacy in some places.
But anyway, let's see. Pikmin 3 release dates. Pikmin 3 has already been out in Japan from the 13th of July. It's already been here in Europe since the 26th of July. Though I
hate
actually saw
Europeans now.
again. I actually seen the game of it. I actually had it in my hand since the 23rd of July. It was got delivered to the shop I worked at. We just couldn't release it yet. 27th of July was Australia. So basically, Americans got screwed over this time.
Yep, it's ironic because usually it's
Usually-
the Australians.
It's usually Australians. Australians got it a day later after Europe.
It's just like
It's Europeans and Australians who get it the worst. Well, Australians gets it the worst, and Europe gets it second.
Australia gets it 10 times worse.
Yeah. I mean, they've
Games
got,
cost like $100 Australian dollars.
and not only that, they got these laws going up, going, this game's too violent. Can't have it.
What are you laughing, Alana? Is there something funny?
I just liked Benji's voice.
Well, that's weird.
It's funny.
The way it just shows off out of nowhere and does different things.
It's not weird, it's funny. It sounded like this really weird old woman.
Maybe he is an old woman at heart.
But that's what Australians are.
Australians are all old women prisoners.
And that's why I love Australia, mate. It's a great place to be. Whoever's Australian on that website, by the way, Alex, I think it is. If you're listening to this podcast, please don't hate us.
We love you.
We love you, man.
We love the Aussies. We just don't love your jellyfish.
Yes. And with that, on that note, we're going to end our podcast finally here. This is the Nerdolution podcast, or in this case, could be the last Nerdolution podcast after the hate mail that may be showing up after the amount of.
We don't have
comments.
enough viewers
We
to
don't
get hate
No,
mail.
not yet, no. But eventually it can show up.
Eventually Matt's not going to be allowed to attend anymore.
Eventually, I'm not allowed to record anymore. Anyway, you can follow me at Twitter at NightNickel, or you could email me at the Digibyte email, which I still don't know what mine is. Mine's like bstringer at something. What is it, Alana?
It's at digibytes.me.
Digibytes.me. So there you go. Bstringer at digibytes.me.
Isn't .me the domain name for Mexico?
Is it?
I thought it was.
Are we a Mexican website? Not like this.
Do we not support America's efforts in the
Apparently,
against
there
the
was some
immigrants?
strange situation with the .com. We won't discuss that yet. Alana?
Oh, I guess you could email me at afornow@digibytes.me, but no, that's about it. You
You-
could also stalk me, but don't really endorse that, so.
I would endorse it. And make sure you use binoculars.
Make sure you use binoculars.
Okay, I had a kid stalker this week. He kept telling me that he knew what I was doing, and I couldn't figure it out. Turns out he's a kid that lives on the corner of the street, so.
Oh, but, Matt, you're gonna have to ask Chandler about the. McLean. McLean. You're gonna have to ask
McLean, obviously.
McLean.
Chandler, who's Chandler?
Chandler. You're gonna ask McLean about the situation
With what?
of the .com
Mexico?
thing. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Where can we contact you, Matt? If
You
follow you
can
other than-
contact me on Twitter at the South Will Rise Again, or my other handle at Slavery Was Never a Bad Choice, or at my third
to your league name.
or at my third Twitter handle. God damn it.
Twitter handle.
Twitter handle. It's a saliva, Benji. It's messing with me. Okay. At my Twitter handle at DefNotMatt. DefNotMatt.
And anything else? League of Legends games, if you want to play with Matt.
Oh, if you want to play with me in League of Legends, don't.
Don't. I played with him and he thinks I suck, which I do.
Yes. Benji plays at 1100 ELO, and if anyone, or 1100 MMR, and if anyone knows what that is, that's bad. If this was season 2, this would be what? That would be bronze.
Yeah,
That would be bronze MMR.
it would be bronze, and now it's. What is it now? It's bad.
Yeah, I think it's still bronze.
Yeah.
I think 1200. I mean, 1200 last season was silver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really played that long on the ranked side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only played 2 games. I've won those 2 games, so that's what it.
Oh, all you gotta do is win all the games.
I have to win all the games. Solo queue. Woo! But anyway, with that said, that's the end of the Nerdolution podcast. Goodbye.
Don't come back.
Yes.